Hello, eRank. Yeah, looks like we are live. That happens all so quickly this time. Welcome to eRank's live Q&A with me, Pam Duthie, and her, Starla Moore. We don't have a snazzy Starla coming in anymore. If this is your first time here, this is your place for all your Etsy and eRank questions. And yeah, if you don't have a whole load of questions, guys, I haven't even told Starla this, we planned so far in advance, but we'll have a wee talk about the eRank calendar tool, because I think that's ignored quite a bit, and there was a blog post about it.
Awesome. Yeah.
About the events that are coming up. So any questions about Etsy or eRank or about up and coming holidays and such like? I just remembered looking at all the, let's see if I can post a blog link here. I just remembered looking at all the blog things that in the UK, it's Mother's Day on Sunday. That gave me a fright. So I've just dealt with that. But yeah, different times for holidays is always interesting.
Yeah. And everybody's, kind of forgetting that April is not when Easter is. Easter is, let's see, how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, a little over 4 weeks away. It is on the 31st of March this year. So make sure that if you do not have those listings up for Easter, those need to go up like yesterday.
Yeah, we are starting to see some searches for Easter already. So it is definitely time to get all those Easter listings up. I totally forgot to make anything Easter related this year. I was going to say, I don't think your shop's got a whole lot of Easter it can do, but dragon eggs would be good.
Yeah, we had a major book release in February, so we're still kind of riding the coattails of that major release for a little while until another new release comes out.
Yeah, but that is a good point, that not all of our shops can follow holidays, and not all of us need to either. It's just a fun thing to do if it works for your brand.
All right. So we already have a couple questions. Maybe we'll dive into those, and then maybe at like the 30-minute mark, we can check out the calendar tool.
That sounds cool to me.
Cool. First one, Amanda had asked, is shabby chic really trademarked? So yes, it is. And typically, if it is in the USPTO, TESS trademark database, yes, that system is not going to lie to you. That is a government system that is going to give you the most updated information about trademarks. You can go through and occasionally find dead trademarks, but even if they're dead, they're still not safe to use. I'm not the person to ask about this, but when I was doing research on it, from what I understand, a dead trademark can be picked back up by the person who owned it, pretty much at any time. So that's how I interpreted it. But always ask a legal expert, which Pam and I definitely are not. But typically, if you see that term in the U.S. trademark database, it is trademarked and is not safe to use. Every once in a while, one will slip in where someone will try to trademark the word cat or rhinoceros, and I can't tell you to disregard those, but to my knowledge, you can't trademark an animal's name. You can trademark in the sense that if you are a donut shop and your donut shop is called Rhino Donuts, another donut shop can't open up called Rhino's Donuts. However, again, legal expert is going to be able to advise you better than what we can.
Yeah, it's super complicated. And I see Amanda just further went on to say, I always assumed shabby chic was a phrase just in public use. The thing is, with trademark, it seems people are using the system a little frivolously, to be perfectly honest. It's supposed to protect your brand, like your Rhino donut shop, so people don't get confused. But people are taking phrases, common phrases, and trademarking them for use on t-shirts or mugs or whatever else. So it really is a bit of a minefield. But I think it's a fairly sizable company that's got hold of Shabby Chic. So through my understanding, but trademark, IP, nobody that you're going to speak to on any of the Etsy forums is an expert on trademark. This is something that can only really be fought in a court of law. So
there were two great groups, and I went to link them, and both of them have been paused. There was Joey's Friends, and he was a trademark attorney, and he had a great group just for creative businesses where they could get information, but it looks like his group has been archived. And then Makers Against Frivolous Trademarks was the one that I used to use, and that group has been paused since 2022. So both of the groups that I went to talk to attorneys, both of those have been paused. You can, my biggest piece of advice is if you don't want to pay lawyer prices and you don't have a lawyer friend that you can talk to, there is a site, and I used to recommend it a lot, but you can't pay just for questions like you used to. It's called justanswer.com. And you used to be able to pay a very cheap price to ask one question. Now those prices have gone up quite a bit for one question, but it's still cheaper than hiring a lawyer. So that's always an option. You can also call around, find, a local attorney in your area, and, just say, hey, I've got a couple quick questions, and see if they'll talk to you.
Yeah, it's such a difficult thing. And I can totally understand how terms like shabby chic definitely can get confusing for people. I think another one that catches people out quite a lot is onesie. That sounds like the generic word for a thing you put a child in. It's not. It's the company name for that type of item. So
yeah, Gerber owns it.
Yeah. So everybody really check what you're doing and what you're allowed to say. It's so difficult.
Yeah. Sarah had asked, does this new gift mode in Etsy make listing/tags easier? No, it is just a way for shoppers to be able to explore items in a different way if they don't know what they already want to buy. So it's not really anything for sellers to pay much attention to. And honestly, it doesn't work all that great. I'm very underwhelmed by it. So there's really nothing that you need to do on your end.
Yeah. The only thing that I kind of you can look at is if you're on there and you see anything that's relevant to what you make, have a click through, have the see more, and see what search terms are coming up with that.
Yeah.
That just might give you an idea for new tags or something. But in general, there's no way that we're aware of that you can turn it on or off or something. This is just a way that Etsy is compiling things together to hopefully make it easier for those sellers that type gift for mom into the search bar or something that don't know what they want to buy. But it's for buyers, really, it's not for sellers.
Yeah. Andrea had asked, I tried looking at Amazon for the first time today using the keyword tool. And I noticed that there's average searches, clicks, and click-through rate, but no keyword estimated competition. Is this normal?
Yeah. Some of the sites we don't have estimated competition yet for, because eRank is an Etsy tool. We've just given you that data as something extra we get for the. I can tell you the Etsy data, the searches, click through rate, and stuff comes from our third party great companies that nobody gets that directly from Etsy. But the cool thing is that these companies we use, they have other data like Amazon. So we give you it. The competition data we get directly from the Etsy API. We're not hooked up to, I assume there's an Amazon API. We're not hooked up to all these other things as well at the minute. So you won't necessarily see competition everywhere else.
Yeah. Think of eRank as Etsy with benefits.
Absolutely.
There's lots of other things that you can get lost in, but primarily we are Etsy for now. Maybe someday we'll explore other options for some of the other marketplaces. Pinky Hook had asked, is it best to have a mix of tags that are low and high Etsy competition? Yeah, I mean, don't target single word tags because you can definitely get some more good terms in there. But no matter what those keywords are that you've put down in your tags, Etsy's going to take all of those words, whether they're, in this tag over here or in this tag down here, and they're going to scramble them up and mix them in all possible combinations. So even if you are using terms that have high competition, maybe, cat mug has a lot of competition. Well, maybe you have, gift for mom as a tag, maybe cat mom mug, for example, doesn't have high competition. You're still hitting that keyword for a broad match, even if those terms aren't contained within one single tag. So I do a combination of both with that assumption that Etsy's going to mix them up anyway. So I'll probably rank for something.
Yeah. I think we say this just about all the time, but don't overthink your tags.
Yeah.
Use the keyword tools to find yourself a few keywords that look good. But I hear every week people are saying, I've spent hours on SEO. Don't spend hours on SEO. There isn't hours worth of work you can reasonably do there. Find a few keywords that sound good. And then when you're putting in your listings, once you've put in those few keywords that kind of sound good, think of what other things, who's it for, where can it be used, what room is it, what style is it, apart from shabby chic, things like that. And, even putting in not a single word tag, but single words lumped together in a tag. So if you've got gift for mom, you could have a tag of aunt, sister, grandmother, or something else that fits. So you're thinking, oh, well, maybe I'll rank for gift for grandmother, or gift for grandmother, cat gift for grandmother, or something. So those last tags, bung in words that sound relevant, let your listing ride for a couple of months, come back and see if you showed up for anything that you hadn't thought of. That's the easiest way to do keyword research, is find a few keywords, but then come back and find out what the keywords that were working for you was. Do not spend hours on keyword research.
Yeah. And I mean, unless you've got like 1,000 listings or something, then yeah, you'll probably spend a little more time, but don't spend a butt ton of time on each listing, especially if you in fact, if you've got 1,000 listings, that's even more incentive to work a little bit quicker.
Exactly. And if you have 1,000 listings, you still would be better spending more of your time finding out what keywords were working and then going in and using them. Like, it's like a cyclical thing. You pick out these keywords that were working, you put them in a new listing, you go to the keyword tool on eRank, type in that keyword that was working and see if there's any similar keywords, bung them into tags, and just, keep on running about and see what starts working.
Yeah. Maureen had said, have you ever heard of a selling platform called or by Michaels called Maker Place? Yeah, so Maker Place opened a couple months ago. Obviously, Pam, you don't have Michaels over there, but
No.
Maker Place, it's doing okay. You got to consider though that Michael's primary target audience, they are other crafters. I've been kind of keeping up with it. I've got a couple students who use it. I think I've had one student tell me that they've made a sale on it. I really haven't seen very many people make a bunch of sales. I know that Michael's today sent out an email. It was posted in my group where they like kind of very subtly but directly attacked Etsy, where they're like, finally a place for handmade to live. So, it's just another place to sell. Right now, it doesn't have a huge target audience, but and then Pam, I saw you posted that link in there. Linda, the reel that you're talking about was actually on my Instagram. That was from an interview that we did with Anthony on my channel, Starla More. And then that reel was a clip from that specific interview about visibility scores. Pam put in our eRank Instagram, which we are going to be like kicking up a lot. We are doing a lot to expand our social media team over the next few months. And we should have a lot more video content on there. If you want to go find that specific reel, though, it is listed on my Instagram, which is Handmade Alphas. But definitely follow the eRank Instagram as well. It's just called eRank SEO, and we will have a ton of content over there as well. But feel free to follow mine too.
Yeah, sorry, I just saw the second half of the question saying, is there an eRank page on Instagram?
Yes.
And all our social handles should be in the comments if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, ask us on there. We should have links to them somewhere. I don't think we have, so I'll do something about that when I'm not on here and I remember. But all those socials should be down below. Especially, don't forget, we're also on TikTok as well. Jessica's been working super hard over there. So if you're fed up of seeing us, we have another person. She's awesome as well. And yeah, there's exciting things coming, I think, with some new people joining the team. It'll hopefully shake things up a bit.
That's the cool thing about all of our social media accounts is Jessica's doing the TikTok, and then the Instagram. I was doing that for a while, but I'm working on a secret project. So some of you guys heard about it last week. I think Anthony mentioned it, but for those who didn't, I'm working on a little academy type thing for eRank users. So I'm stepping away from social media for now. But point being is that you guys get the opportunity to get different information from different people. So, if you follow on TikTok, you'll get videos from Jessica. If you follow here on YouTube, you get content from Pam and I and we've got Jessica working on some videos. And I think Patrick is also working on some videos as well, I believe. And then Anthony is here on YouTube, and Brian comes on the YouTube channel. And then Instagram, you get different content, which we're really, like I said, we're kind of reconstructing how we do that over there. So there's not a whole lot going on, but expect that to change in the next few days.
Excellent. It sounds fun. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I posted at the start as well. Don't forget to check out the blog, which you can always get to from the homepage of eRank as well, because we have a whole other team there as well working on tons of stuff over there. I struggle to keep up with everything that's on there myself.
Yeah, there is a lot. We have a lot of great blog posts, and if you've got a question about something eRank related, go to the blog first. And we've even got a search bar there. So if you've got a question about a specific tool or something, there might be a blog post about it. Thank you, Debbie. Debbie's got the blog link in there too.
Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, so there's tons of places. And I think that's a really cool thing because everybody has different teaching styles and they all learn differently. So you might listen to Starla and go, fantastic, I absolutely get that. And then you hear me say the exact same thing in my own way. And you're like, what is she talking about? Because we all teach things slightly differently. And it's totally cool to have that, and to have Anthony and Brian coming on and explaining things in a manly fashion as well. Because I think we always kind of, the whole sort of Etsy tuition sphere struggled for a while of not having any men. That's growing now, but yeah, so that's handy too for everyone who likes hearing a different view.
I remember back when I started selling on Etsy back in 2012, there were lots of male influencers in the space, like Timothy Adam, who ran I can't even remember what their blog was called, but he was a really big YouTuber. And then there was some other Etsy guy, I can't remember. His name was Dan something, but they were huge. And I don't know, I think they've all kind of just moved on to different things. So it's nice having Anthony and Brian, and hopefully Patrick pretty soon creating some content too. But Let's see. Charisma Crystals said, I was enlightened to analytics recently and I love the data. I would like to hear more about that for sure. Do you mean our Google Analytics tool for our traffic stats? Because we've got lots of videos on that on the channel. And I think that we demoed that a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
We have. I might also have something coming up in the next couple of weeks on this channel as well. Another one, because yeah, we are like, bear with us. Everyone who's been here for a while knows how quickly Anthony changes the tools. And what you probably don't know is how long it takes to make a video.
Oh,
So we
God,
make
yeah.
videos on how to do the thing, and literally like 2 minutes later, someone's messaging going, where's the thing on that? That video's so out of date. Did you change stuff, Anthony? It's stuff different. So I'm going to do a more up-to-date version of the traffic stats tool, because I absolutely love that tool as well. But also, if anyone who hasn't seen it, right, use the traffic stats tool on eRank. It is great. But you also have on your Etsy dashboard under marketing, and the fact it's under marketing should be a big hint that this is helpful, is the search analytics beta on there as well, which has loads of great information as well.
Yeah, it's been in beta for like 4 years now.
At least that, yeah.
But it does, you can find some really, really great, you can find some of the terms that you're being found for. And then once you find them there, I would take them into eRank and look a little bit even further into those terms.
We might even be able to find ways to get you to easily take them into eRank at some point. Not saying anything at all here, but
Let's see. Lisa said, I have a hard time staying focused and on task when I'm doing keyword research. I end up going down various rabbit holes because there's so much information and data. Me too. And I just sit and open tons of tabs and I have tons of keyword lists. That way, if I dive down one rabbit hole, I can always like navigate back. So making sure that you have lots of tabs open, very helpful.
yeah. And that is the cool thing. If you have one of the upgraded eRank accounts, you can have lots of keyword lists. And from that button on your bottom left-hand corner, you can switch between lists. So if you've gone down a rabbit hole and you're suddenly not researching what you thought you were researching, you can switch your list and bung it in there and just do it quickly. But I do the same thing, and it's not bad at all, because that kind of rabbit hole, just as long as it's not being a massive time suck, but you can learn, like, get so many ideas for new things, like, oh, I hadn't thought, but I could make this. And then I find, especially, look, I think all creative people, you have times when you're really productive and you have times when you need a holiday. But sometimes if you're doing the keyword research, you're maybe not having a great day, you're sitting and you're just clicking that, and then suddenly you get some ideas and it's like, I'm going to make this and I'm going to make this, and suddenly inspiration happens. So that's really helpful as well. But yeah, step away from the research though if you've gone too far.
I'm doing a video on Tuesday where it was my goal to find summer trends that had high searches out of nowhere, but super low competition. Like I wanted to go through and try to find as many just off the wall terms as I could. And I found a couple good ones. It's not like I've got 100 of them to share, but there are some interesting ones. And sometimes what I did was I didn't go to the trend buzz. I didn't go to the monthly trend report. I didn't go, there was no like magic list for me to start with. What helped me to find those trends that had high searches and low competition was I remembered what I have seen in stores lately. And that's how I found the sweet spots. I even went through Etsy's 2024 insights guide of the trends that they, anticipate. And I typed in every possible keyword, combination of keywords, terms that they use that might be used in a different way by customers. I went through every single trend. And of all of those, the only one that was actually trending was denim decor. Nothing that they announced is being searched for at all. So
Yeah.
that their predictions this year were really, really off the mark. But I also started thinking about some of the things that I have seen trending at Target and at Hot Topic, some of the animals that I'm noticing on like t-shirts and stuff. And I popped them into eRank, and lo and behold, high search is low competition. So sometimes while you're shopping, it's a good idea to maybe even take like a little notepad on your phone, or keep a little pen and notepad in your bag. And if you see something, jot it down and double check it when you get home.
Yeah. There's sort of 3 secret weird places that I find keyword things, well, that I find trends, because I don't go out into real world shops or anything like that. But the weirdest one, but always is good for the trends, is The Sims. I don't know if anyone else. I just watch people playing The Sims as a restful thing. But just before cottagecore started, they released a pack of country living that was basically cottagecore. Just before the crochet trend started, they did a knitting pack, and the end of last year they did a kind of ranch pack when Pinterest suddenly went, oh, gothic western and the denim stuff. The Sims had come up with this, and their latest pack is gems, crystals, and sort of metaphysical things. So if it works, you heard it here first. I know that was trending like a few years ago, but it might be back. The second place I look, don't hate me for this, everyone, but use like Temu and all these fast fashion places, because they have a load of data, and you can go on them and it'll go hot just now, trending just now. You're like, okay, so that's what people are buying.
Steal from them.
Exactly, they're stealing from us, so go back and steal from them. But they can move so quickly, they know what the trends are, so that's a kind of really cool place to catch up with trends. And I had a third one, and it's absolutely slipped my mind because I'm rubbish at this. But yeah, Charisma's off to buy The Sims. Yeah, it's just weird. All these things pop up, and I've meant to mention it so many times. Like when the knitting thing came up, and I was like, I bet you those kind of crochet things that they're making on Sims is going to trend, and it did. But I felt too stupid to mention it. I was like, that's never good. Nobody would want to hear that. But yeah, it trended. So it's a cool one.
So LB Faith, if you guys saw things flying past my glasses, it's because your comment made me think of something that I posted a little while back. I have a major issue with starting. I don't know what to call it. It's like I get stuck in the learning and research stage. When I try to do it on my own, I feel like I lose all the info. I guess it's more on the design part. Like everyone makes it look so effortless. I know there's behind the scenes and edited videos, but their ideas are like bam, bam, boom. I promise you, they are not like bam, bam, boom. It comes with years and years of practice. I've been at this for like 10 years now, and even I have those days. What I'm posting right now is a Facebook link to a photo that I posted last year. And it is like a why Etsy sellers need support from their families. And it's got the iceberg of, what you see and what everybody else sees. And think about this the same as what you're seeing from your competitors, and then everything that is below the surface of that. So product research, that's trends, competitors, pricing, keywords, seasonality, photography, that's editing, modeling, video creation, marketing, that's social media, scheduling, content planning, email marketing, and then SEO, search trends, quality scores, rank checking. Like, it is a lot. We are taking on the tasks of a marketing team, photographers, graphic designers, so for some of us who are packaging our products, that's a whole packaging department, shipping department. It's a lot. What I always say, and this is my quote that I always say to my students, y'all are sick of hearing it, is that Success is not a destination. You're not going to get on your little magical boat and go and head off to a fun little island somewhere when, when you reach a point of success. It's not a destination. You're never going to reach success. Success is the journey, and it is a lifelong journey that you will be on throughout the lifespan of your business. You have to learn to love the process. It's not about any specific destinations. It's about the things that you see along the way and the things that you learn along the way, because on that road trip, you notice a little bit more and you learn a little bit more and you start to enjoy it a little bit more. And then things get a little bit easier. So, yeah, your feelings are absolutely valid, and we all feel that way. I promise.
Yeah, utterly normal. I'm gonna out Starla in a minute here because I can. But one one thing, many years ago when I was in industry, we had a speaker come and speak to us, and I don't remember what he was talking about or anything about it. But the one thing that stuck in my head from him was he said that all big successful businesses will have at least 7 failures behind them. It's probably a lot more than 7. So it doesn't mean that your shop's not going to make it, but it does mean that not everything you create is going to be a wonderful seller, and don't worry about that. Also, unfortunately, as soon as he left the room, my boss, who was a bit of an ogre, turned around to us all and said, "You'll be out the door if you have 7 failures." You paid money for this guy, thanks. But right, outing Starla time. Because I think most of us can say, like, Starla is amazing. Starla has it all together. Starla does absolutely everything, and she makes us all feel inadequate.
I also have an employee.
She also has an employee.
And a husband who helps. Like, it's not just me.
But she also, when we came on air, when we sat down, she's positioned her chair carefully so you can't see the mess behind her.
Well, you still can't because the camera, the frame is different.
And that's the same for most of us on Instagram or YouTube or anywhere. In general, I would love to make a video and show the mess that's around me and everything that I'm not doing, but I'm ashamed to put up all of that. But we have these little tiny glimpses of our perfect lives, and they're not, because we're here to hopefully inspire and help you. And although we try and mention it and everything, you probably won't believe the amounts of times that I've set my alarm to silent a million more times, pulled the duvet over my head and said, "I don't want to do today." Or just feel like such a failure. So even though Starla is absolutely amazing, she's also human as well. And she feels like, she doesn't do it all the way you think she does it all. She's actually a human being. So sorry, Starla.
And I've been complaining all week. I've been talking to Michelle. She works with me and she works for eRank. And I was telling her yesterday, my job yesterday, my only job yesterday was to sit and work on the eRank Learning Academy. Like, I sat down, I'm like, let's do this. I got my coffee. I was up in my upstairs office with the sunshine and I was ready to go. And I did not accomplish anything. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. Is it because it's cloudy? Am I just hormonal? What's the problem? Because it was just a bad day, and we all have them. And I'm still like, I am not top tier today. I left my pajama shirt on and threw my hair up in a messy bun. And I'm like, all right, guess we're doing Q&A. Let's do this. So you're all going to have days like that. What matters most is showing up 80% of the time. You don't have to be 100%. Show up 80% of the time, and always aim to just do a teeny tiny bit better. But don't be hard on yourself when you can't. What you don't want to do, though, is fall into complacency or fall into a state of making inactivity your norm, which gets really hard. Like, for example, if you come back from a vacation, getting started again is really, really hard. But the more you put it off, the more it piles up and the harder it is. Give yourself scheduled breaks, give yourself time off, give yourself nights off. If you work on your business full time, if you have that amazing opportunity, make sure that you are not working yourself to the bone as well. Make sure that you're taking weekends off, even if it's not on the weekend. You know, maybe your weekend is Monday and Tuesday. Give yourself that time and do things that are unrelated to business. You can't contact me about business on the weekends. I don't answer. I used to, even for my students, I used to constantly, like, you know, eyeball my inbox. But these days, they all know that Starla, if she doesn't rest on the weekends, she's not going to give good responses to questions. I'm going to give you a fast response, and I might get things wrong because I'm only human, and I also have a household to run and a kid to take care of. So
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah, there's actually a saying that is absolutely true. I think especially for crafty people. When you go out to a day job, you go and you do your work. But when we're crafty, so often, so I'm not motivated to do it. But actually, motivation follows movement. You have to take care of yourself and take the time off. But when you're just sitting there going, I'm not motivated, sometimes you've got to get out of bed, maybe do a bit of keyword research until you find that motivation. Or I always set like an hour in my morning that is, doing the emails, doing the things that don't take much brain power, but they need done.
Yeah.
I do them with my cup of coffee, and then I say, am I motivated to go and do some more, or do I need to go and sit out beside the river for like a couple of hours? So yeah, I think I don't know if it's good or bad, but I think it's normal that you look at everybody else and you think you're not good enough. You absolutely are. Nobody's good enough.
Yeah, good little pep talk.
Yay!
Let's see. All right, so we'll answer fruitanical wares, and then we will check out the calendar, which was neglected for a long time, but I believe that we've spruced that up recently, haven't we? Have we spruced
I
that
hope so.
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, we'll have a look. But
it's one that we don't look at very often, so we'll
that's why I thought it was important to look at it.
Fruitanical wares. Is the eRank monthly trends a good indication of what will be becoming more popular in upcoming months, or is it too late to jump on those bandwagons? So, Pam, could you screen share the monthly trend report?
Yep.
Is that a possibility? So I just did a huge video yesterday, scripted it using the monthly trend report. What I primarily look for when I'm looking at a trend in the trend report is I would like to see a pattern that indicates that either a term was popular around the same time last year. I try to hit trends 4 months in advance. So I'm trying to see, it's so tiny. What was the one with the flame icon?
We've got jewelry and earrings.
Okay, we'll use earrings since that's a good example. You can see, oh, and now I made my screen here. Let me blow it up real quick. Okay, so you can see there is a slight bump. Is that summer of last year?
Here?
Right there. Yeah. Okay, so spring of last year, we see a slight bump. And then it looks like that bump doesn't occur again until holiday time of last year. Yep. And then I noticed that March is a little lower this year than it was last year. So something that I like to try to consider is, okay, for earrings, for example, when do people wear earrings? Well, earrings make a great holiday gift. So that makes sense that maybe they're trending around the holidays. However, people are also going to wear earrings out for summer occasions. Maybe they look cute with a bikini. Maybe it's the type of earrings. If I have earrings that I know are going to be good for summertime, and I can see that around spring last year they were doing pretty well, I'm willing to place some bets that maybe they'll do well this year or even better than they did last year, because it doesn't look like they did fantastic in comparison with the rest of the year in summer of last year. I'm trying to find another example where there's a seasonal
not fantastic, but at this low point, they're still the 5th highest searched keyword. So yeah, it's dropping, but from high to slightly less high.
Is there any seasonal terms that have a wave, or one that's a constant ramp up? in popularity. That's always
Well,
what I try to find.
yep. Oh, minimalist is the complete opposite. If anyone's-
Exactly. So that's a good example, guys, of one that has fallen. However, personalized gift, we can see that shot up real high, before the holidays and around holiday time, number 26. And now
Yep.
personalized gifts aren't doing all that great. Well, you know what? We haven't really had any major giftable holidays.
There's an interesting one actually with personalized gift, because look at number 9.
Custom.
Custom. Those two terms sort of flip-flop, but I've been seeing it for years.
Mhm.
Even although they don't actually mean the same thing, they mean the same thing on Etsy, kinda.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use the trend report. Try to see if you can match up popularity around the same time last year, even if you notice that the popularity, like say that March was really high last year, but it's a little lower, as long as you're seeing decent searches like what Pam said, it's usually safe to experiment with.
Yeah. The other thing, and this is where I was remembering the third thing that I was going to say for finding trending things, but for any of these keywords that you see on the monthly trends, you can click on them and it will, my computer's being very slow because we're asking it to do a lot of things. It will take you to the keyword tool for that thing. And then you can scroll down to the keyword ideas section. So you see the trends, you see all the data we've got here. This is my expert account, so your account might have slightly less. But what is cool, you can see the other terms that are similar, but I don't know if everyone knows this. You can search, you can rank any of these columns, any of these things by a certain column. And one that's really cool is if you click on the search trend column, that ranks it all by what was searched the most for last month. So this is the place where you might see, I bet you we don't on earrings, I've probably clicked the wrong one, but you might see something that's coming up out of nowhere. Okay, so potentially earrings are getting a little boost in birthday gifts for the last month. So just scrolling through all of that, you can see things that are coming up. Oh, is it Ramadan soon? That's interesting. There we go. So you can see things by ranking the columns by what's getting searched for immediately. I'm not even going to try and dichroic earrings, brand new one. Don't know anything about that. But yeah, there's a fun way to look at slightly different things.
Yeah, that was like the term cute. Jan covered it in the blog post. Cute. It's just such a weird term that started trending. But then if you search cute and you go down into those keyword ideas, cute keycaps are searched.
Yeah.
The level of competition for cute keycaps is lower than the average monthly searches. That means that there literally is not enough supply to meet that demand. There needs to be more people making that item. That's a sure thing. Resin artists, where are you? Start making cute keycaps.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, and will be coming out, maybe just released, the Canadian report. Jan did some digging and found out, because I think we were all quite surprised to see trendy ranking.
Yeah.
But Jan's discovered what that's all about. So check out the Canadian report.
I didn't know that. All right. I think we're out of questions for now. So while we have that break, do you want to show off the calendar?
Yeah, so calendar. Oh, I remembered. It's under tools, calendar. This is another cool one for trends as well, but so I don't know that everybody knows we've got this, and the team put in all these holidays that are coming up. So yeah, there's Easter. That's scary. Oh yeah, St. Patrick's Day's soon. Mother's Day's in the UK is a bit too soon. But the other thing we also have is, what were the keywords for March last year? Super handy to know. But let's go into the future, because we always. What month should we pick? Let's go a couple of months. Let's go and see what's happening in May. So you get all the holidays in May, if any of them are relevant to you, like Mother's Day in France is the 26th, Star Wars Day, May the 4th. But you also get the keywords that were popular for May last year. So this is another place to see potentially a lot of the things might be kind of similar. But yeah, it's cool to have a look and see. I'm not going to try and say that properly, but a Buddha Day in India. I haven't heard of that. But yeah, you might be able to look ahead. Like, this is definitely the time to be listing your Easter things, your Mother's Day things. If you're in the UK, you're a bit late for your Mother's Day things.
Yeah, Amanda had said are those keywords for the US though. Keep in mind that we share a lot of these. These are holidays that a lot of us share.
Yep. I don't think we've got the other ones, but you can, if you want the international keywords, you can go into the monthly trends, and it is the monthly trends we've got. But you can go into many of our tools and pick different countries. We've got a whole load of different countries. In general, the US is still 50% of, slightly more than 50% of all Etsy shoppers. So there's just so much data for the US. So even though I'm in the UK, I tend to look at the US keywords. And then, like, if I see Mother's Day ones, I go, okay, our Mother's Day is 2 months earlier. So I just sort of transpose them back a couple of months. And then I'll dive into the UK at the very end to see, are there some extra keywords? Although we have noticed another thing you'll see in the Canadian report, which you want to check, is Canada's starting. It used to be like almost identical searches to the USA, but Canada's starting to step away and think up its own things now as well. So it is good to check. Sort of after, I'd find the good keywords in the US, even if you don't ship internationally, because trends are very similar. And then dive into these keywords a little bit more in your own country as well.
Yeah, there's, and unless it's a term, and you will probably know if it's a term that's different than terms that we use here. You know, sweaters and jumpers, those are going to be different spellings of jewelry. But for the most part, the things that are popular here are going to be popular in most other places. I want to do a video about terms that Americans should be aware of that are different in the UK. I think that would be a fun video to help spread awareness to us poor uncultured Americans who don't know what terms to use.
Yeah. Well, if you're visiting, oh, there's my chair making noises. If you're visiting the UK, fanny pack is not a term you should use over here. It's very different.
I discovered that.
Yeah. Well, I think most of us know, but it does make us chuckle.
Yeah.
But bear in mind as well for the terms, like
don't say fanny pack.
Yeah. And, for the terms Etsy, if you type in sweater, Etsy should understand that a jumper is the same thing, and very much with the alternate spellings of things. And there's something really interesting that Jan's been noticing in the monthly trends, is the American spelling of jewelry is turning up in the UK trends.
Oh, that's interesting.
Why is that? Now, myself and Jan, we've dug into this, and it's actually really fascinating. If you go to the homepage on Etsy in, like, logged out or something, and look at what a normal person sees, all these like call to actions, like Mother's Day thing, this, that, and the other thing, and you click on them, it takes you to a search page that Etsy's created, basically. And like the gifts for mum one that you click on that says gifts for mum, the actual search term that's returned there is mom with the American spelling with the O. The same with jewelry. We click on a link that says jewelry spelt our way, and it takes us to a search results page that's spelt the American way. So yeah, it's strange. But it doesn't mean that you should worry. You don't need to put both spellings in your listings. Etsy understands what they are, but eRank shows us it's what people are searching for, but also when people click through from those first front page things to things that populate a search term, a search page, that counts as a search as well. So we see it. So it looks like people are searching for jewelry spelt the American way when they actually aren't. It's a strange little nerdy thing that we saw. So don't freak out if you see it and you think, I only sell to the UK. I'm going to have to spell in the American way. Keep spelling the way you do.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, all the comments about the fanny packs. That's what's really funny is our print provider for these tumblers. I had to apologize to our UK audience because our print provider, when we did a rating of these, that provider's called Fancy Fanny. And I'm like, ooh, they didn't think that through. Stingray Designs in August. What does seasonal keyword update Halloween mean? Seasonal keyword update. Where are you seeing that? In August on the calendar?
I'm going to look at August. Do you just mean that Halloween's showing in August? Trying to remember what buttons so I don't cut Starla off. Yeah, Halloween was trending in August last year. What that means is, as Brian will tell you, he sells mainly a sort of gothic-y Halloween shop. People search for Halloween all year round. It's like Christmas, but a little darker and more gothy. Every day's Halloween, guys.
Yeah, I decorate September 1st. So I start shopping for Halloween in August. That's when I go to like Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Well, Hobby Lobby only has fall. They don't have Halloween. But I go to all the craft stores and stuff because I know that in August, that's when they're going to start putting that Halloween stuff out. I'm one of those crazy Halloween people. So yeah, August, July even.
I'm trying to get up the search trend graph, but
of course, eRank can be slow.
This could be eRank being slow. Let us know if eRank is slow, but at the minute in time, my poor computer's running this live stream and trying to load up things. So it's probably me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we can see on the search trend that even March 2023, there was 10,000 people searched just for the term Halloween. And yeah, August was the start of the spike here. Well, in fact, I would say July, 104,000 searches in the US alone for Halloween. So if you've got Halloween stuff, I'd be listing it at least in June. That start of the spike in June is 40,000 searches. So that explains why Brian has such a good going shop. People are searching all the time.
Yeah, my mom's whole house is done in skeletons and Ouija boards, and everything is black and red. She even made like a big giant Ouija board coffee table so that she can accidentally summon a demon with her coaster while she's drinking coffee. But she's one of those Halloween all year round people. And Halloween is just an excuse to buy more house decorations. So there are plenty of people like that. And yeah, and it's not just your young folks. I've heard that too. I saw I think it was last year. I saw all these news headlines about, millennials are buying for holidays earlier than ever. And it was like shedding a negative light on it. Like, we're not ready for Christmas this early. We're not ready for Halloween in the summer. I'm like, it is not just millennials. I promise you.
Oh yeah. Who's not ready? The shops are going, no, please don't come in and buy just now. We're not ready. No, we're ready. Come and shop whenever you want. I mean, I know people that I am never this organized, but I know people that buy their Christmas presents and Christmas cards in January. So people are doing things all year.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. And you never know. There are some people who do like the Christmas in July things. you never know what reason someone might buy a product. We left our Christmas ornaments listed because they'll make their clear glass ornaments. They'll make good sun catchers. Some people might want, maybe they have little ornament hooks that are on stands. Maybe you sell something that matches whatever the motif of their house is. You really, really never know how people are going to use these items. So, I wouldn't expect to sell, 1 million Christmas cards in July, but just
Yeah,
goes to show
people
to leave
still
that stuff
buy
up.
things early. I know when my little sister was leaving to New Zealand, we had Christmas dinner and everything in September or October because, it'd be the last time. So I think plenty of people do celebrate a Christmas at a random time.
Yeah, yeah. I started when I saw that Easter was in March. I started shopping last month for Easter, just so I wouldn't have to worry about it. And I've just kind of got a closet full of Easter basket stuff for the kids. So,
Oh, cute.
well, I have one, but we have other kids in the family. Yeah, somebody said, Tracy said, I sell ornaments and they sell very well all year round. And I've bought ornaments. I bought an ornament after my grandma passed away. She passed away in August of 2020. And I bought like a little memorial, where someone they printed her photo on it. And I bought that in August just so I could hang it up in a little shadow box. So there's a lot of reasons why someone might want a holiday ornament. I know that there are also nursing homes will buy up those holiday cards, and it'll be, kind of like a group activity where they'll sit and fill out all their cards all together, for the year. And then, the nursing home will make sure that their cards are all sent on the right day for their family members so that, these residents don't have to worry about it. There's so many reasons why someone might need an item like that. You never know.
Yeah. And Prim Heirloom Design says her witch dolls started selling in July last year.
Yeah.
There you go. They sound cool. Yeah. So people like cute Christmassy stuff and dark Halloween stuff all the time. I think yes, I have a skull on my top just I get away with it because you only see me from like the neck up.
I've got a Halloween candle on my desk that I don't want to burn, with a cinnamon stick and a little skull in it.
That's cute.
We do exist, us year-round Halloween people. But we are down to the last 2 minutes. Pam, did we have any last-minute announcements before we sign off?
I'm not aware of anything that we're allowed to talk about.
The Sidekick they did a Q&A about that last week, right?
Last week, and yeah, Anthony's been jumping on my Facebook account doing Q&A. So if it looked like I was posting things and I was sitting on a beach, you want to check out the Q&A last week where Anthony and Brian covered the Sidekick for anyone who's into anyone who's into this, anyone who's interested in helping us test out, beta test this new feature. It's something we've been teasing forever because we've been playing around with it for ever. There's so many new features to come into it that we might or have hinted at. But that's the reason it's taken so long to come this far, because every time we sit down with Anthony, we're like, can you add that? Can you add that? And he's like, that's a really good idea, but I'd like to launch it, So, but guys, if you're wanting to sign up, have a look at last week's Q&A. You'll get all the details there. And if you can, we'd appreciate it if you can help us here just by giving us your feedback, things you'd love to see, things that maybe don't work how you think they should work. And please, as we say, this is in beta, please don't go and give us terrible reviews without letting us know first. You don't like when your customers do that, but this is something that we're sort of just quietly mentioning to all 60 of you here just now. We're not allowed to talk about it in a big way yet.
Yeah. And Sarah said, is this a weekly thing? I assume you mean Q&A. And yes, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And Joyce had asked, will the Sidekick ever be available on Safari? I'm assuming that's something that the development team is probably working on. I didn't realize that it wasn't, but oh no, it's Chrome and Firefox, right?
It's Chrome and Chromium type browsers. I don't understand all the thing of that, but I think it's part of how Chrome allows you to have something on the side that isn't interfering with the rest of the browser. There's so many browser plugins. I know I use too many on my computer that open up, rearrange all sorts of things on your screen. And we were trying not to do that. And we're trying to make sure that we're not reading any of your data or doing anything dodgy. So Chrome allows you to have that on the side rather than in your browser, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if Safari has that. If it's possible to do it on these other things, I'm sure we will, because Anthony doesn't really like Chrome. He says rude words about it. So
yeah, we will never purposefully discriminate against any of your operating systems. However, some of them do have limitations that our development team have to scramble to try to figure out. So,
yes.
But we appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll be back in 1 week to hang out with you. Tomorrow on my channel, I'm doing a mini webinar for kind of Etsy newbies. It's called Building an Etsy Taco Bar. What that means is I'm not going to tell you till tomorrow. So you can find me by searching Starla Moore. It's also linked down in the video description. Pam, what do you got going on in your world? What's going on in the Pam universe?
Oh, I'm just, because hopefully it'll help people. I've got a little series coming up on how to calculate your costs on Etsy, profits, how to do profits, a whole lot of nerdy nonsense like that for anyone who doesn't mind seeing spreadsheets and things.
Ooh, I'm going to redirect my audience to that because they ask me that question all the time. Sarah said, what time? Noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UK. So.
Yep, Starla's. We're always here at this time on a Thursday. Starla's always on her channel at that time on a Friday. So yeah, that's my tea time watch every Friday.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for, where do we find Pam? Pam Duffy. The links are down below. If you expand out the video description, there is a little orange heart that says follow Starla, and then there's a little purple heart that says follow Pam. So click down there. There's also the link to the eRank blog and the eRank Facebook group and any of the other links to our social medias if you want to follow those. So
yeah, we're doing all the bad YouTube things that you're not supposed to by having a wall of links. So go and find and follow everything on our wall of links in the description down below.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, hopefully I will see some of you tomorrow. And if not, we will talk to you next week.
Yep. See you guys.